Freddie, you've talked about it a lot, how really the experiences, the growth started last year during the playoffs, that LAFC game, but the guys have gone through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of learning experiences throughout this season. How does all of that bundled together put this group in a better spot heading into the playoffs this year?
I think they first, even just off the vibes, the guys don't seem like too antsy or stressed. They know how to deal with the week. I mean, today the vibes were great. Get along, go on with business, enjoy the game, the great weather that we're having, and I think that's the biggest part. It's just how you kind of contain your emotions throughout the week, and I've seen nothing but positive from the guys. Now we're yet to see how the game's going to respond, but as far as the lead up to it, they've been very, very good.
You're starting to get some of the guys that were away with their national teams back in training. I know you never want to be without players when you're preparing for such a big game, but is the hope that they come back even sharper, having played at that high international level?
Yeah, and that's always the case. They get back, I think they're buzzing. You go over there with so much more pressure from a country and trying to qualify or games that are very meaningful, and then coming in to their comfort zone in a way. Their friends that they've been seeing for the last 10 months on a regular basis. So we're hoping that they come in. We continue our business here. We bring in Monarch players, academy players to make sure that our numbers are good enough with the size to allow us to get good sessions in. And we had a good, 5-6 training sessions with good numbers and trying to keep that level up. So when the other guys get in, like Albert got in today, and you could see the level of his playing, so we can mesh in and not look like anyone's out of sync.
And when you look back at the two regular season matchups with Portland this year, I think even just by the numbers, I mean, the second matchup, you guys at Portland gave up one goal. That was a deciding one. You had your chances. Do you like the way this matchup looks going into the third time? Do you feel like you know what you guys need to do to take care of business and come out on top?
Well, we know Portland. They're a very good team, so it's not going to be an easy game. But if it goes anyway like it did last year, it was losing it twice to LAFC during the season and then getting them in the playoffs and then getting a result, because it is tough to beat a team 3 times in a row. At the same time, they played different tactics last week against San Jose, so we just got to be aware. They've gone a couple different formations throughout the year, so we're trying to see what we're going to get, and also some players that didn't play last week that maybe they play or don't play. So we're trying to prep the guys, but it's we're at home. I think what's going to tip the scales our support. We need our fan base there. We need just an emotional game to give us that extra push, because towards the end of the season, our job's just to work the tactics here, keep them fit, but we want that excitement from the fans to really push us.
When you mentioned that Portland can play a couple different tactics you've seen from them in the last couple games, personnel we don't know with certain guys. Do you feel more confident in your group, their ability to read a game, adapt, and adjust to what the game is calling for, regardless of what the game plan may have been heading into it?
Yeah, I mean, we're confident with Portland. Whether they play the 4-2-3-1, the Christmas tree, the diamond, all of them are a system that's going to get them a lot of numbers in the middle of the park. Very similar to what Houston did to us, which we struggled early on. But I think that was a good test for us to have to do. That's Portland's identity. The principles are always the same. They want to get good collective numbers in the middle to try to dominate some possession, and we know they're going to be a good team on the break. And when they've come to us at times, they've been very, keeping good shape and looking to counterattack, kind of waiting for our mistakes. And we need to make sure that we don't fall into those traps. And we understand their strengths, we understand their weaknesses. At the same time, we got to play our game. We got to be aggressive. We got to be the team on the front foot with some intelligence. We don't want to be too aggressive at the expense of leaving ourselves very exploited when they're a very good counterattack team.
How much more difficult it is to prepare for a team that has shown different looks throughout a season? Sometimes, and additionally, they also, seems like sometimes like to counter, sometimes like to play more expansive. You mentioned the different formations. Like, is it more difficult to prepare for a team like that?
There was 2 teams that really, and I know you guys know one of them, San Jose, that's just totally different from everyone in the league. Aside from that, maybe NYFC played a little bit. It was still possession based, but just the formation kind of could throw you off. But aside from that, everyone else is very, they all have their certain identity, but when it comes down to the core of it, it's a possession-based team, a lot like Seattle. They're going to have a lot like Dallas, where they want to have some possession and good on countering. So it's not anything we haven't seen, and we shouldn't be surprised. Really, what it's going to be is Do we understand our tactics? Is the energy there? Is the focus there? And then again, I'm going to go back to the fan base. If we can have the fans there to really give us that extra boost at this time of the stage in the season, then I think that's going to be the difference maker.
How much more value was last playoff experience, especially for some of the younger guys like Aaron and Corey and that?
Huge, huge. And I mean, when we talk about just not the young guys, all the newcomers that came in, Natum, Albert, Demir, all those guys to experience an MLS playoff, it's huge. You know, I think when you look at the who played in that starting 11 was Bex, Raimondo, Luke. You guys can maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Those are the only three that had an MLS playoff experience game on that squad last year. So the other 7 got more, along with more games under the belt of the young guys. So again, that was huge in the development. I've said it multiple times this year. That's the only way of growing. You have to experience it yourself. We did. And now I think that's why we see the vibes of the team just a little more relaxed. They know what they're getting into. They know what's coming. And we're anticipating a good game from ourselves.
How's the health of this team, and did the international break in between the playoffs kind of do a lot to sort of rejuvenate the guys from some of the knocks that you started to see towards the end of the season?
The team has been, credit to our medical department, our science department. We do a lot. We have a lot of dialogue with one another and seeing how much we can push, how much we can't. Today we actually took something out. We could have gone more, but it was so good. The energy was so high that we cut something out. But they've done an amazing job of communicating to us and the guys keeping them healthy. Everyone right now is feeling good. Knock on wood on the guys that come back. I think Savarino ended up well last night. Sam's well. Corey's the only one that's left still out there, and the U23 guys. But the guys are healthy. We have a good squad to get ready to see if we can put our best lineup into the starting lineup, but also have guys that are ready to come in and make a difference. If we need to either chase the game, finish the game off, we have guys healthy enough.
How do you envision using Sam?
Sam is number 9 that, depending, we haven't set our starting 11. There's things that Sam offers. There's other things that Demir offers. There's other things that Corey offers. And we're going to try to pick the best formation that can hurt Portland. It really just comes down to that. There's times that we started Sam this year. I think we've gone 4 different forwards this year. I don't want to forget Douglas. Douglas is in there. He just scored a first international game. So we don't pick favorites. We pick guys that are going to help us win. Also the most important thing is chemistry. The team's got to be able to play good with one another, and that's a huge part of it. So we're gonna, we finally get everyone in on Thursday, and that's the bad part about it. Where now you can kind of take that session to really gauge who looks sharper and who can better come off the bench to help us, because you always need those players to come off and make a difference or give us a spark. So right now that's kind of where Sam is. We haven't decided on who's going to start. There's that's that 9 position, and we choose to go with 1 or 2 forwards. It still hasn't been decided.
So in that second game in Portland, I think they got a goal off a giveaway in your own end. But other than that, it was a better performance than the first time you played. So it's one thing to watch in this match, how sharp you are in possession of the ball early on.
Yeah, 2 things have been stressing. I actually watched the game last night again, that same game, and it's what you just said. We gave away the ball, and soccer is you can't not give away the ball. You're going to give it away. What we want to do, and we've been really focusing and preaching to the guys, is look, if you make a mistake, the transition and the reaction to try to fix that, it's got to be on point. The energy's got to be there. At the same time, we got to also try to keep away from making a mistake, giving the ball away, recovering the ball, and then giving it right back. I think that second giveaway within the same plays is where it really hurts us. And the other thing that we've been focusing on Portland is when we get that game, we controlled the game defensively for the most part. We controlled the game with some decent possession for long periods of time. But when we got into that final third, we just didn't see, the conviction wasn't there, the movement, the multiple players getting in aggressive areas. So those are 2 things that we've really been stressing these last few sessions.
Thank you.
You've been on the job now 2 to 3 months. Have you found yourself doing anything now as kind of the interim head coach that maybe you guys weren't doing previously, or has it really been kind of the same thing? Just keep on. Just keep going. Consistency. The guys know my demeanor, and I know them. I haven't changed anything, and just really trying to communicate with the guys, and excited to come to work and hopefully putting out sessions that
it motivates them, that it gives them energy, that they want to be here, and that's really I can continue doing. Do our job in the office, that we give them the most info that we can on the opponent, and see how we can apply our tactics towards the opponent so we can get a win.
Sometimes in games that are just like, winner take all, it depends on like what team has like the player. Like, and Portland has, Diego Valeri. He's like a guy who's been considered one of those guys in the league. How, as a team, how do you kind of correct for? I mean, I know you're not only thinking about one player, but for a team that has a player like that is so dynamic, how do you kind of prepare yourself for that?
Yeah, just we will talk about it. They have Blanco, they have Valeri. I don't think they'll have Fernandez, but even Asprilla, they've nicknamed him the October Asprilla. I don't know what it is. He's been since the last 3 years. He tends to get goals at this stage of the season. They have some big guys for set pieces, so we'll prep for all of that. We can't, we're not gonna say. It's not like when I was in youth soccer where they had one big guy who's taller than everyone, and we can put our big guy on him and kind of, scratch him out. No, it's going to be a collective, and we feel confident in what our collective defensive shape has been in this season. But on the flip side, we have Albert, we have Demir, we have Sam Johnson, we have Corey, we have Savarino, we have guys like Plata can come off the bench, Bofolo can come off the bench if they don't start. Those for my liking are guys that can make a difference in games, and you've seen throughout the season. Aside from big guys in the back that can maybe get a set piece, and to me, set pieces become very important in the playoffs. The games are tight. Maybe you're not getting as many opportunities in front of goal like you would like, not because you're not sharp, but because maybe the opponent's doing a good job, and us vice versa against them. That when it comes to a set piece, you got to have that special guy to maybe put a direct kick or corner kicks that we have good enough plays that can get us a winning goal, and that might come to that, or it might come to PKs. Who knows? But we'll train all of that and prep ourselves for how we can maximize our abilities and minimize theirs.